Hi everyone, it's Missy, and I am giving you an update on the garden, how it's going. It is June 4th today, and as you can see, these are the beets that I had grown in my seed starting system. If you're interested to see how I did that, I'll link the video I made below in the description. And these are the small ones that you see over here are the ones that I direct seeded into the ground. And I sowed the beets in the ground the same day I had put them in the Aerogarden. And that's basically how far along the beets are that I was able to start indoors. Very happy with how it turned out. I was able to actually get the whole peat plug buried, the whole peat cup buried into the ground, so we don't have any issues of them drying out. Also in my garden, I do have radishes, spinach, carrots, and some miscellaneous zinnias. What I found out is that with an Aerogarden, you do have to have fresh seed that's purchased that year. So what I'm doing with the rest of my boxes is I am just planting all the seed that I had left in my drawer that I had carried over from the previous year and just seeing what grows. And then I'll start with all fresh seed next year, so that way I have a better seed starting system process than I did this year. Okay, and then for my very first seed starting video when I did the flowers, which again I'll link in the description below if you're interested to see, this is that seed capsule I had planted for the flowers. Now I just forgot what they were called, but it's a capsule where they're supposed to have 3 seeds in it and you're supposed to get all 3 colors. And as you can see, I only have one, which is the purple. I was supposed to have purple, yellow, and pink. And when you look over at these other 2 pots, I had 5 capsules, and now these ones are only yellow, which is interesting because I was supposed to have all 3 colors. So I'm wondering when I put those capsules in the plug if only the seed on top, and for some odd reason I got yellow. I got lucky and had yellow that popped up in my yellow pots. I have no idea why. But I'm just wondering if that impeded the capsule from the other seeds being able to sprout and being able to grow and thus flowering and creating a multitude of colors like the package showed. Or if the capsule thing was just a plain old bust, and I wish I would have had a capsule that I just direct sown to see what would happen. Got my dahlias, and then here are the other flowers that I had planted, and as you can see, they haven't really grown much outside of the Aerogarden. They have slowed down quite a bit. I don't know if it's because we had that cold snap that came through and now they'll grow because it's a lot warmer, but I had planted them in this bed because they were so small, and we'll just see as the season goes how they'll go, turn out. But they all were able to make it. They were all able to harden off very well. I didn't have to worry about anything. I'll show you the marigolds too when I get into the vegetable garden, but so I was just a little disappointed with the capsule thing. I don't think I'll be doing that again in an Aerogarden. I think I'll just take the capsules, and you see that more and more now where they put 3, 4, or 5 seeds in a capsule and you just plant the capsule and you're supposed to have like a multitude of flowers in different colors. Instant basket arrangement. So I won't recommend that for a seed starting system. In the rest of my garden, as you can see, I have my row of potatoes that are doing fabulous. I had just hilled them yesterday again, and these are the Yukon Gold. I have my Red Lake Currant over here. This is the 3rd year that it has grown, and there are plenty of berries on here, so hopefully I can can some jelly. I'm hoping, fingers crossed. Over here I have the pumpkin that was in the Aerogarden. It really slowed down since I had planted it, and the squash, which I had to seed. Again, that I did not start in the Aerogarden. I had just direct seeded it into the ground. But it's very similar to a pumpkin, and you can see that when you direct sow something, it takes a lot longer up here in Minnesota to start growing than when it did in the Aerogarden. I have my row of marigolds, and then inside of my wall of waters you can see the tomato plants, which are doing really, really well. These are the ones that were started in the Aerogarden, and then I planted the peat pots into the ground. And these are about as big as what you can find in the nursery in town. They're doing very, very well, and I have been very happy with the results so far. I didn't lose any, which is also a plus because I have all 5. This is the sweet corn over here. I didn't lose any more plants since the last time I showed you this. Now, sweet corn, I cannot direct sow until it's really warm out, and so this was direct sown the day I had transplanted this. And so you can see how much smaller these plants are that came up compared to the ones that I transplanted. And actually, once I had lost the first few to the wind, the rest of them did take off and they did get thicker stalks, and now they are used to the wind. I think my hardening process needs to be improved so I don't lose as many plants. And I will definitely do this again next year, because even though I did lose 5 plants, that's only about 80%. I was able to retain at least 80% of the plants that I started in the system. And then also what's good about this is I should have a crop of sweet corn that's matured early, and then a few weeks later I'll have another batch of sweet corn, so I can have fresh sweet corn longer in the season, which is really nice. Here are the pepper plants that were also started in the Aerogarden. These ones I started later than I had wanted to, but they are still a good size considering the time of year for my growing region. And the 5 that I started, they all survived, and I put the buckets around them so that way they can get out here. It's nice and warm. We've been in the 90s for the past 3 days, so they should be taking off really quick here. These are the cucumbers. Again, they were started in the Aerogarden, and then they did just fine. I only had the 4. One started later than the rest. And then these sticks here are just marking where I planted the nasturtium, so the nasturtium will crawl up the fence with the cucumbers. I do a lot of natural, nasturtium repels cucumber beetle, which is why I planted there. This is a new addition to the garden. This is chocolate mint. I'm hoping to have an herb garden here, because I did start the herb set in my Aerogarden. That's going to be another video, but I was very happy that most of them have grown, and so I'll be transplanting them out here and have my herb bed. The plants that you see in between the stepping stones are just alyssum. That's to attract pollinators into my garden. And then of course I have the onions. I have plenty of onions. I have both red and sweet, and they are looking good. I have my compost pile over here like I did last year. And then I just planted the beans yesterday evening. I know that was really slow of me to do, because I did have the seed on hand. And I wish I would have started those in the Aerogarden, but I didn't realize I should really get another one so that way I can keep up with all the seeds germinating and so forth and get them going. So I'm hoping to add more stuff to the seed starting system next year. And then these are the peas that I had direct sown, and they are starting to climb up the trellis system that we have. And then over here I have a lone miniature pumpkin. Then I did seed more, they just haven't come up. And this one I had transplanted out of the Aerogarden as well. And this is the only one that had come up. And like I said, it has to do with the fact that I didn't have fresh seed. And I know I would have done a lot better so if I had the fresh seed to get going. And that's what I'm going to, like I said, I planted all my seed that I had and see what comes up. And whatever doesn't come up, it just doesn't come up. And then I'm going to start with all fresh seed next year. So that is what the garden looks like. We still have the strawberry patch. We kind of moved it away from the fence. We were planning, I don't know what we're going to be doing here now. Those changes have already happened this year because of the lifestyles, and different things have happened and events have come up, and just been busier. That's why I haven't been posting to YouTube as much. And then of course we do have the blueberries that we started in pots, and we'll be sinking these pots into the ground come fall so they can overwinter out here. So, but if you have any questions, I just wanted to give you an update so that way you could see how well the garden was doing, because I did promise you guys I was going to do a video when things got growing, and the plants that I transplanted have been out here for about 2-3 weeks, and everything's been doing really well. But if, like I said, if you have any questions, you can let me know. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Bye.